Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the Food City 500 for race number 6 of the debut season of the Winston Cup Series. Getting ready to go racing here for 50 laps of racing. We only had one caution in yesterday's Busch Series race. That caused a lot of drama. And let's see how these drivers will handle our race here today as we're getting set for this race. Ashley Horton starts on the pole position. Horton comes into this race 34th in the points. She's had a tough start to the season. Jessica Miller is alongside of her. She is 33rd in the points, so two drivers need to turn their seasons around. Marty Stevens, run number 2, 37th in the points table, and Todd Montgomery in the 77th. So four drivers who are really struggling in the points table need to turn what has been a struggling start to the year around as you look at the rest of the lineup here today. Point standings are as follows. Margaret Jacobs, the points leader by 8 points over J TwoTwo, 23 over J Bouvier, who's third. A Crenshaw, fourth in the standings, 28 points back. 31 back is Luke Knight. Then the rest of your top 10 is Annie Thomas, Elena Aurora, Courtney Lynn, Brad Lewis, and Tatum Wright. Your top 10. Time to get these cars rolling off onto the track. Let's make sure nobody has a mechanical problem, please, and thank you. As we're checking, and so far so good. As we got first pole of the year for Pontiac, or for Ashley Horton, still looking for her first win of the year. 50 laps of racing here today for the Food City 500. Let's see what kind of racing we're going to have compared to what happened in the Busch race yesterday. Here we go. We are green in Thunder Valley to cap off our race weekend. Should mention after the race at Darlington last week, Annie Winters was placed on a 3-race probation for her incident, and also Winston Cup officials has had enough with Zachary Taylor and asked Taylor and Cody to keep away from each other, which I don't know if that's going to go well, but we'll have to see. Zachary Taylor's on pit road. Issues for the 4 of Zachary Taylor, who did not take the start. I hope they can get the problem fixed because I do not want somebody to get screwed out of no points. That would be awful. And is he out of the race? He's still on pit road. Let me see what happened to him. Oh, he blew up. And he didn't make it. Oh man. Yep, and he's out. A camshaft failure. Oh, what a tough break for Taylor. And how that was not a caution, I don't know. And Taylor dropped 6 spots to 14th in the points. And Taylor's done, not even completing one lap of green. That's a shame for Taylor. The good thing for Ashley Horton, she came as race only 6 points back of 30th in the standings. So if she can get a win here, this could put her in the top 30 in the points to hopefully have this win, if she does win today, to count for a spot into the playoffs. Marty Stevens would also agree in that scenario, except he's only 20 points back of 30th in the standings, which is owned by Brenda Eveling. Checking back here, I see second in points, J TwoTwo back here at the rear of the field. Almost got turned there by the 88 of Ashley Reynolds. J TwoTwo trying to run down the 8 of Margaret Jacobs for the points lead. That was Ben Erickson as my freaking... All right, would you start working, NR? Trying to take it slowly and you're being a derping hyena. If you quote that, that's a flag for you. There's Sean. All right, there's April Winters. find out where the points leader is running. That would be Margaret Jacobs. She's running in the 8th position. So Margaret Jacobs would keep the points lead as things stand heading into next week's race, as we're heading to 8 Bowl for our second restrictor plate race of the season. And it'll just be the Cup drivers. Busch and Trucks will take an off week before all 3 series head to the mile-and-a-half Atlanta Motor Speedway. All the races will be at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brittany White about to go a lap down if they are not careful. Brittany White 29th in the point standings. Cody Smart dropped 4 spots down to 21st position in the points. He's also 20 points ahead of 30th in the standings. That's Brenda Eveling. And he's running in... Where is Cody running? Cody's running in 12th. So Cody needs to start getting a little bit of a cushion between himself and 30th in the standings, or his win is not going to count for a playoff berth. There's Brenda Eveling, who, by the way, came into this race in that critical 30th position in the points. Marty Stevens up here in second, as they've lapped Brenda Eveling and Maddie Crenshaw. Todd Montgomery is now in third, as they're trying to get around Ponzo Albanese and Annie Winters. Ponzo moves out of the leader's way without much of a problem. Annie Winters, I don't think, is not listening to officials who told her to please stay away and not cause any more trouble. Well, she's apparently causing trouble, but for the wrong reasons, by not moving out of Ashley Horton's way. Seaman 38th in the points, not the run he has been hoping for. So you have one driver who's 20 points behind 30th in the standings, and another driver who's 20 points ahead of 30th in the standings. Cody Smart needs a good run today. Right now, the Cup drivers are running a lot better than the Busch drivers yesterday. We only had one caution. That was early, like lap number 8. We have not had a caution, surprisingly, here in the Cup race. There's Sean Art, Betty Barrett. Riley Anderson, Timmy Turner trying to catch Melissa Cooper. Last time we ran at Bristol on this channel, besides the Arca Menard series, was the elimination race for the Oreo Cup series in season 1, which I ended up getting eliminated after I was involved in a wreck and I was below the cut line. Ashley Horton starting to get a little impatient with Annie Winters there. Oh, but she just allowed the 97 to pass her. That would be Marty Stevens. And now Brenda Eveling going to play interference with the battle for the win, possibly. It's like the 21's going to cut the 10 a little bit of a break. That's good. Ooh, Maddie Crenshaw getting way too close to Sean Art in the 7 there. That's also allowed third place to catch up. So I guess Annie Winters is not done messing with the pissing off the officials, and she has been asked to see the officials in the hauler again, but this time not getting out of the leader's way. I mean, she's been ignoring the blue flags. So Annie Winters not done pissing off the officials. And I bet her team owner Cody Smart's not going to be happy about that. So it looks like Smart Motorsports not done pissing the officials off for a good reason. They've only lapped up to 34th place. Tough run for Sean Art, who's been having a struggling season. This is our only visit to Bristol Motor Speedway, although the Truck Series will be racing here at night later this season. Which they will run on Friday night and not Wednesday night. And Ashley Horton led the most laps, by the way. Marty Stevens came into this race a total of 20 points back of 30th in the standings. And of course, Ashley Horton led the most laps, so this would get her out of the top 30 in the points. Now the question is, could the 97 try to move the 38 out of the way? Or is the 38 going to try to continue to be a nuisance with the leaders? J TwoTwo running in 26, came in race second in points. The gal that he was trying to run down for the points lead running in 10th, that would be Margaret Jacobs. So Margaret's going to keep the points lead heading into next week. There's Samantha Grainger having a very good run in that number 30 machine. Samantha's 11th or tied for 10th in the points table. I forgot we had a four-way tie for 9th. Lewis, Wright, Grainger, and Johnson. Grainger and Johnson are inside the top 10, so they would probably stay in the top 10 leaving today. And you notice I've seen a couple of drivers when I look through the running order that came in running well in points are going to really take some hits. Cody Smart, 22nd, came in this race 20 points ahead of 30th position in the points. We're going to have to see where this is going to situate him. As we're down to 2 laps to go, and Annie Winters has really just pissed the officials off by not getting out of the leader's way. So unfortunately, that really just became Screwedville as we're on the last lap here at Bristol. 50 laps have clicked by fast, and so far these drivers minding their P's and Q's unlike yesterday's Busch race. But coming off of turn number 4, Marty Stevens is going to win the Food City 500 at Bristol. Now the question is for Marty Stevens, has he locked himself a spot into the playoffs if he can get back in the top 30 in the points? We're going to have to wait and see. I also forgot to change paint schemes, which I'll do that after this recording. But anyway, Marty Stevens, Ashley Horton will finish 1-2. Horton led the most laps, but this will be a good finish for her. Tom Montgomery will get third. Hannah Smith, we did not talk about that 48 car all day long. A fourth place for her. Came into this race 20th in the points. This will put her up into the top 15, if not the top 10. She also came into that race when she wasn't below the cut line, but we'll see. Jessica Miller will get 5th, 33rd in the points, well-needed run. Samantha Grainger, top 10 in the points, or tied for 9th in the points, will stay in the top 10 in the points. Brad Lewis will get 7th, so he will also stay in the top 10 in the points. Mia Watts will get 8th. Great run for Mia Watts. 39th in the points, so Betty Johnson 9th, and points leader Margaret Jacobs will get a 10th place finish. So a lot of drivers who are down near the bottom of the points table had some very good runs here today. Annie Thomas got 12th. That's a good finish for her. She's trying to stay in the top 30 in the points table. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, Cody Smart 22nd. I don't know. We're going to have to see where this is going to situate him. Annie Winters 34th. Ignored says Brenda Ealing retired out of the race. She finished one lap down. Same with Maddie Crenshaw, Erickson, Seaman, and Art. They were the last ones to finish. We had 39 on the lead lap, or 39 finished the race, 34 on the lead lap. And Zachary Taylor out of the race after blowing a camshaft, did not even get a chance to race. And he came into this race 14th in the points. He's going to continue to drop further and further, closer to 30th in the standings, which is not good news for Taylor. So he'll need a regroup heading into next week at April, which we will have just the Winston Cup drivers next week. Trucks and Busch will be off. We're going to go super speedway racing at April. That should be a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me for today's race here at Bristol. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We shared your full finish results. Your point standings will be down in the description heading into next week at April. Until then, I've been DeVol signing off. Goodbye from Bristol, as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and the best in racing since 2017.